I think I've been an absolute idiot here. I cannot believe how stupid I've been. You're not going to want to miss this video. Stick around and see what stupid mistake I have made. Welcome back to part 3 of the Elderberry saga. So, video 1, I determined what was wrong but didn't have the tools. Video 2, I chose not to bring the tools with me. Thought I'd just be able to drive it home, and obviously that didn't go to plan either. So video 3 is here. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna be able to drive it today. Now, today's video is sponsored by the Parrot Bros because Dom is a gentleman and he said to me, Bryn, do you know what? I've got an alternator for you. Swing by and get it. You can have it for cheap like a budgie. So that's what I did. Drove down to him this morning, grabbed that, and here I am now, ready to get this up and running. So obviously I've got the trusty A4 with me here, proper workhorse that, full of tools. I should have everything that I need. And if I haven't got everything I need, then I'm a bloody idiot. That's all I can say. Anyway, right, let's roll it out and get to work. There is one tool that I'm hoping is in the boot somewhere. Yeah, a tuner wheel nut. Let's hope it's in the boot, shall we? Coil pack cover. Sweet! These actually look really cool. You just need to do a little bit of modification. It's off the Mark II, off the 2 litre TFSI. You can modify these slightly to fit. They do look quite good. The main question though is, oh yes, thank goodness. Woo! I think I've been an absolute idiot here. So, as I've always said, you should never be afraid to admit your mistakes. Learn from them and move on. You may remember in the first video, I had to take off the alternator belt to be able to show you what was going on with the timing. Some of you may realise where this is going. In the second video, the car would not run off the alternator. Could it be that I did something as stupid as leaving the alternator belt off? Yes it can. So that day being a disaster is entirely my own fault. Yeah, that's it. Everyone take time in the comments below to take the absolute piss out of me because I am an idiot. Now, even if I'd realised that on the day that I hadn't put that back on, I didn't have any spanners with me, wouldn't have been able to sort it. Could maybe have gone and bought a spanner and tried to get it back on, but didn't have access to get the car jacked up and get to both sides of it. So I was probably doomed anyway because I should have just put it back on day one. But yeah, what am I? I'm an idiot sandwich. So, I'm going to do the cam out anyway. I'm not going to change the alternator. And I'm going to see if Dom wants to have that back. If not, I'll keep it on the shelf as a spare. You know, when you could just kick yourself. Like, that's ridiculous. Now, if anyone dares insinuate in the comments below that this was deliberate, that this was just to, you know, create a bit of drama or anything like that, I assure you, the day that I was having on Monday, this is honestly, I would not do that to myself, okay? This is sheer stupidity in action. So yeah, hang my head in shame. Like I said, learn from it, move on, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the cam belt and I'm going to take this thing for a drive. Just uncovered another issue, which I'm glad I spotted now. So that wouldn't have been boosting right because that would have just been going psh. Some things you just can't be prepared for. like people just changing the bolts for no friggin' reason. Have I got the Torx that size instead of the 18mm that it would normally be? Why? Just why? What was the reason? Let's see, shall we? Hoping it's one of these pair, which obviously I've never had to use before. Well, there's a stroke of luck. One thing has gone my way. I decided to bring all my tools just in case, and that was the right move, clearly. I don't get it sometimes though. What was the need for that? There just wasn't any need. It may not surprise you to see that whoever has done this work and has used the wrong stuff all over the place has continued that bodgery here. What the heck is going on there? They are destroyed. Hopefully I can get them off properly. I've actually done a video about how to do that bodge myself to remove knackered bolts. But what you then do is you replace them. We're now getting to the part of the job where it's actually really difficult to try and show you how to access stuff. Let's see if I can show you this bit. Because as you can tell, there really isn't much room down there, which is where filming the proper job is going to become tricky. But don't worry, I'm going to work out the angles so that when I do the video, it'll be amazing. So just to confirm, that is top dead. This tooth here would normally be in line with that marker there. So we can see that we are one tooth out. So this is why this isn't a very good guide as to what to do, because all I've had to do is remove the hydraulic damper and the belt. I'm going to mark the belt up, reset the damper, put it back together. Very slowly apply pressure. There we go. To give you an idea of how slow that was, that clip was 3 minutes long for me to push it all the way back in. Counting this one here as 1, where the top marker would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you can't count to 68, I'm sorry, this job just isn't for you. And here is the reason that most people get this job wrong. You'll notice this has relaxed itself that way. Well, if that's moved, then that's got to move. And if you don't move that, you're going to be wrong. That's where that 68th mark goes. And now I've got to try and film and get the damper back in there, which is why, yeah, like I say, this time that ain't happening. But yeah, it is coming. It is definitely coming. The most comprehensive guide on how to do the cam belt on the Audi TT. Probably 25 years too late, but you know, better late than never, eh? So she's in. And she is in time. So get rid of the cable ties, turn it over a couple of times, put it back together, and you will join me on the first start. It's looking dangerously like a complete engine bay. What do we think? I know what I'm hoping for. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's jump start it. I mean, I've just got to go for it. Bloody alarm. Runs. Runs off his own alternator. Doesn't sound very healthy. Okay. got to sort this alarm out and then we'll talk. Oh, that alarm was stressful. That doesn't sound the best, does it? Let's face it. I don't know why. I'm going to try and work it out. I'm going to scratch my head for a bit and I'll come back to you. I've not got a feeler gauge with me, but you might be able to tell. Those are pretty big gaps. That one's maybe about, don't know. They look massive though. Huge! I ain't getting spark plugs at, well, 5 o'clock on a Sunday. That's not happening. But the reason I took the spark plugs out was because I wanted to check if the rods are bent. So, little trick to test whether the conrods, whether everything's set at the same height as each other. We can see on cylinder 4, it's really hard to get a nice angle to show you this. We'll put the blade across to create a level. And you can see that the tape is above the blade. And if we go over to cylinder 1, which should be the same height as it, and we put the Stanley across, well, you can already tell that that is definitely sat lower, which means we have got a bent conrod in cylinder 1. So yeah, that probably means that the engine was no good when it was sold to the person that fitted it. They've then put the cam belt on wrong, which has in some ways masked the issue. But the engine was never fit for purpose. Now, luckily, the previous owner has got in touch with me, and they got a refund from the people that fitted the engine and did the timing work, because there's clear evidence that they had done that wrong, then leading him to sell the car. But interestingly now, he's maybe got a case against the people that sold him the engine, because there's no way it'll have ever ran with enough boost like this with the bad timing to have bent a rod. So that rod must have been bent beforehand. The bad timing won't have bent a rod. If you think about a valve versus a conrod, the valve would always lose if there was any contact, but there wouldn't have been contact because it was only one tooth out. So in short, the engine was knackered before it was put in. Where does that leave me? Well, that leaves me really peed off. I've got no idea at this point what I'm going to do. I'm not going to risk driving it home with a bent rod, because it could just grenade itself out the side of the block, and then I've got a massive issue potentially. I mean, if that happens on the motorway, people crash behind me or whatever, it's just irresponsible, isn't it? So yeah, don't know. That's my honest answer at the moment. I don't know, but you'll find out in the next video. Knock knock, who's there? Cylinder 1.